Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host Sean McGahee, and this is a show we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope your week is starting off good. Also, hope you had a great weekend, guys. I got a couple of good stories I'm going to share with you today. First off, I didn't get to the Iron Fist Season 2 trailer on Thursday, so I told you I would cover it today. So that's what I'm starting off with. And then we also got a first trailer from Star Wars Resistance, the new Star Wars animated series that's going to premiere on Disney XD this fall. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about. I got a few of the stories I posted on the Facebook and Twitter accounts. So if you want a little more, you can go over there. Maybe I'll talk about some of those on Thursday. We'll see. But I think Iron Fist and Star Wars are going to take up most of the time. So I'm not promising anything else. So let's just get to it, guys. Now, as I said on Thursday, just as I was about ready to record my show for the day, Marvel dropped the newest trailer for Iron Fist Season 2, which premieres on September 7th on Netflix. Now, a lot of people did not like Iron Fist Season 1. I didn't like Season 1, but the reason I didn't like it as much is because I'm actually a decent Iron Fist fan. I'm looking up right now. I have my Iron Fist Disney Infinity character. I've never actually played that Infinity game. I just like the design of the characters. I got Captain America, I got Iron Fist, I got Star-Lord, and then I also have some Star Wars ones, Obi-Wan, Anakin. I'm a decent Iron Fist fan. He's one of my top 5 favorite characters in the Marvel comic universe. Ever since I read Ed Brubaker's The Immortal Iron Fist, which is probably the definitive run of the character. So if you really want good Iron Fist, of course, I would recommend that. They've had several series. There's Iron Fist Living Weapon, which I wasn't a fan of, and then just Iron Fist within the last few years, which was okay. But again, if you really want to get excited about the character, The Immortal Iron Fist is where it's at, guys. So Iron Fist Season 1, not that great. I remember when it came out, people were complaining about how slow the first couple episodes were. And I thought it was a good setup. You know, it was a TV series. It was taking its time. It's, not a movie where it's going to be 2 hours and you're done. I was fine with it. And it was kind of hit and miss. Like, couple episodes I liked, couple episodes I didn't. The very final episode of the season I was not a fan of. And just the Danny Rand character, I did not like at all. I mean, it's not used to the Danny Rand I'm used to reading, but granted, of course, this is his origin story, so he's getting there. If we look at his appearance in Luke Cage Season 2, he's evolving. I mean, I didn't like him in Iron Fist Season 1. I didn't like him in Defenders. I did kind of like him in Luke Cage Season 2, so I'm hoping Season 2 of Iron Fist, we're getting a better Danny Rand. So, with that being said, the trailer, I liked it. I mean, I think anyone has got to say that they liked it if they watched it. We saw, some of the things we knew we were going to see. We got Danny in there and Colleen. We got an appearance by Misty. Now, Colleen and Danny both showed up on Luke Cage Season 2, which I wasn't a big fan of. I'm going to get into that in just a minute. But really, these 4 characters have a strong bond. Colleen and Misty go to form Daughters of the Dragon, and then Luke Cage and Danny do Heroes for Hire, which, again, I've said this for a while. I never wanted to see a Luke Cage Season 2 or even Iron Fist Season 2. I really think they should just do a Heroes for Hire show, and then even maybe spin that off to a Daughters of the Dragon show, and I think that'd be fine. With Iron Fist Season 2, I do hope we do get at least an appearance by Luke, again, setting up more their relationship, because that was one thing about the Defenders that I liked too, was just the relationship between Luke and Danny, and kind of setting up that classic Marvel friendship between the two of them. Now, the actress who portrayed Misty, I forget what her name was or is, but she's actually commented as well about how in the comic books, Danny and Misty actually have a long-term romance going on, or did at least. And people are wondering if and when they might do that in the series. And she's talking like, well, Danny's with Colleen right now, so that relationship looks pretty strong. Nobody thinks that's going anywhere anytime soon. But, never say never. And like I said, this is a TV series, okay, guys? This isn't a movie trilogy where you have a whole complete thing in 6 hours, okay? You could go on for 6, 7 seasons with this. So, for all we know, by the end of season 2, Colleen and Danny have broken up, and maybe he starts something out with Misty. I don't know. That's not even to say they have to do it, really, of course. As long as it's fluid and fits well with the story, I'm okay with them changing that aspect from the comic books, much like how Kevin Feige and the guys in the Marvel movies don't exactly give you the exact Civil War storyline or the exact Winter Soldier storyline. I'm okay with it as long as it's still a good story. Now, before Luke Cage Season 2 is a little premiere in that, the last time we really saw Danny was at the end of Defenders, and Daredevil whispered something in his ear that basically made Danny think he had to take over as the defender of Hell's Kitchen, which at the time seemed like a little callback to a Daredevil storyline when Matt Murdock was in prison being accused of being Daredevil. So Danny helped him out by putting on the Daredevil costume and pretending to be Daredevil and fight crime for a little while. But in this one, it looks like Danny is continuing to do that. I just want a better character out of Danny, really. I think from the trailer, it looks like that's what we're going to get. The whole, his fist not being able to let it light up and stuff that we had in Season 1 and the Defenders, let's get over that right now, okay? I don't want him to be, impotent and whatever you want to call it. I want to be able to light it up whenever he can, whenever he wants to. I don't want to hear this, I can't harness my chi. Don't give me that crap, okay? That was the worst thing, okay? He's, in his 3rd season of TV, so to speak. Hopefully he's got it all worked out. He's channeled his chi or whatever he has to. Please don't do that storyline again. And it looks like they're going to pay off a couple of things that they set up at the end of Season 1, namely with Davos. Now, in the comics, Davos is a guy who trained with Danny in Kunlun, and he really wanted the power of the Iron Fist for himself. For those of you who haven't seen Season 1 or don't know, much about Iron Fist, Danny was dropped in Kunlun, and he had to fight his way to be the best of his generation, so to speak, or the best of his class, to win the opportunity to get the Iron Fist. And to do that, he had to face off against a dragon. I really hope they show some of that. That'd be really cool, but we'll see if that's in the budget for flashbacks. But nonetheless, he, won the Iron Fist, and Davos thought he was not worthy, especially after Season 1. Davos comes to New York looking for Danny, thinking that he had been captured, but he finds out that Danny had just abandoned his post. Danny thought that being the Iron Fist, he had to protect all the world, just not Kunlun, and Davos disagreed. So now he's teamed up with Madame Gao, who I don't remember where she's at the end of Defenders. I'm pretty sure she still survived, if I remember correctly, but I'm not 100% on that. And she teamed up with Joy Meacham. Now, Joy was a character in Season 1 who I kind of liked in the beginning, but as it kept going on and on, I didn't like as much. Where it was the flip side with Ward I didn't like as much, and as the story went on, I liked him more and more. I don't know what they're going to give the two of them to do, but I'm interested to see, what kind of things go on with the supporting characters. Of course, maybe they're dealing with the death of their father. You could also bring in Jerry Hogarth in there as well. Carrie Moss, she was in Jessica Jones Season 2 and went through some stuff. Again, I don't really recall where she's left off in this storyline. But one important thing, too, is I'm remembering that in Luke Cage Season 1, it was right after Captain America Civil War. Now, remember, we're still supposed to be in the MCU with all these characters. And they made no mention of the Sokovia Accords and, trying to get all these superpower beings to work for the government. Well, now we just finished Avengers Infinity War, and we have the dusting where half the universe's population is supposed to be gone. I don't think they're going to deal with that either. I think at this point, the Netflix universe is kind of self-contained, and people at Marvel TV and even those maybe in Marvel movies realize you can't do that just because of what the movies and the TV have planned. So maybe they're just going to separate them both. If they are, that's fine. Continue with business as usual. I think it'd be really weird taking out half the world's population and then try to deal with that in the Netflix world. But at the same time, I could also see it being pretty cool. If they don't deal with that, I'm fine with it. But let's just say if they don't deal with the dusting in this season, or say that this is before the dusting, that let's all agree that the Netflix shows are officially not part of the MCU. Another thing I want to see out of season 2 in Iron Fist is better action. Okay? Let's, have better martial arts than we did last season, because Iron Fist is supposed to be like the master martial artist, right? So let's see some of that. Daredevil season 1 and season 2, I think, had better fight choreography than Iron Fist, and that shouldn't be it. I mean, Daredevil is a great fighter, Elektra, the hand, all that, but Iron Fist should be better. So I want better. And then we got hints of his costume, the flashback scene with him looks like Davil's fighting, the yellow bandanas, which is a classic part of the Iron Fist costume. When he's out in the streets, it looks like Danny is doing the yellow over his mouth. I just want something better, okay? I know the character of Iron Fist. I know he can be better. I know Danny can be better. Show it to me, okay? You've heard all the screams. Let's see something better. Now, in regards to the Netflix Marvel series, last one we got was Luke Cage Season 2. And then before that was Jessica Jones Season 2. And then The Punisher. I did not like Jessica Jones Season 2. I think it was the worst season that they've made so far. And I'm going to include Iron Fist because, I didn't like Iron Fist, but, I liked it better than Jessica Jones Season 2. Luke Cage Season 2, I thought had some potential, but like a lot of Netflix shows, was too long. I think they said Iron Fist Season 2 is only supposed to be 10 episodes instead of the normal 13, which I'm happy about. I hope that kind of reins in the story and centralizes it more, which would be great. And then The Punisher. I think everyone can agree that The Punisher was probably the last good season of the Marvel Netflix series. I'm not even a Punisher fan, but I realized what they were trying to do, and I'm good with that. With Jessica Jones, I didn't like how she was exactly the same character than she was in Season 1. She didn't learn anything with all that stuff from Kilgrave. And then in Luke Cage Season 2, again, it just went on too long, and I thought there was way too much extra fat, really, with that. So I'm hoping better things for Iron Fist Season 2. But with this kind of yo-yo between the Marvel Netflix series, it's like, the Daredevils are good, the Punisher's good, Jessica Jones Season 1 was good, people weren't crazy about Defenders, they didn't like Iron Fist, Luke Cage was okay, Season 2 was, it's touch and go is what it is. And I guess after a couple strings of bad ones, I'm curious if the normal audience can survive or are willing to give Iron Fist and Marvel another try on their Netflix shows. So the last couple weeks on Tuesdays, I've been getting up a Facebook poll. I'm more active on Facebook than I am the Twitter account. I will agree to that. So this week's poll, or today's poll, I'm going to put up, after the last couple of seasons of Netflix shows that are Marvel, are you still willing to give Iron Fist Season 2 a chance? Whether it's be based off Iron Fist Season 1 or, Luke Cage Season 2, Jessica Jones Season 2, whatever. I want to know your opinion. Are you planning on watching Iron Fist Season 2 despite the fact that the Marvel Netflix shows aren't quite what they used to be? Let me know what you think on the poll. I'm always interested in those results. As for me, again, I like Iron Fist. This trailer looked cool. I really hope for better stuff. And honestly, I think Marvel and Netflix are going to give it to us, guys. Okay, guys, our second and last story for today. Disney XD and Lucasfilm premiered the first trailer for their new Star Wars animated series, Star Wars Resistance. And I gotta say, it was a little different than what I thought it was going to be. It's going to be executive produced by Dave Filoni, the Star Wars nerd god. If you're a Star Wars fan like I am, you love Dave Filoni. You love how deep he is in the Star Wars mythology with stories like Star Wars Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. And just, when they heard that another show was going to be produced by Dave Filoni, we all got excited. So after this trailer, it's kind of looking like they're going for something different in this. In an interview that came out, I believe it was last week, even Filoni himself said he's not fully in charge. He's taking people that he's worked with for years, such as on Clone Wars and Rebels, and letting them run the show because he is going to be more focused on the rebirth of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which is going to premiere next year on the Disney streaming service. And that makes sense. Some people have, given criticism, especially after the trailer, that, well, if Filoni's not in charge and he's not involved, I don't care about it. But look at it this way. This is the way I look at it. Filoni picked people that he's worked with on Clone Wars, on Rebels. These people know how to tell stories like Filoni, because much like how Filoni learned from Lucas, they learned from Filoni. So I think I'm okay with, somebody else running the show. And of course, it's good to have different perspectives. My thing is, it doesn't look like it's going to be the same vein as a Rebels or a Clone Wars. Now, Clone Wars started out very kiddish with a young Ahsoka and droid episodes and Jar Jar episodes, and got more mature as it went along. This looks very kiddish. You have the young pilots, you have BB-8. It looks really like it's for, younger kids, almost my daughter's age, and I'm fine with that, I'm 35 years old, okay? At some point, I'm not going to like all the cartoons, whether they're Star Wars or not. At some point, actually, I almost gave up on Clone Wars around season 3. I almost stopped watching because, it wasn't that great. But now I look back, and I'm glad I stuck with it because season 4 and especially season 5 were awesome. I'm excited for the new seasons of Clone Wars, but they got more mature, which is what I liked. Maybe this will get more mature, and maybe it won't. But as of right now, it just looks very kiddie-ish. It's got BB-8 in it. But I gotta say, my 5-year-old daughter, I'm gonna try to get her to sit down and watch it. I honestly could see her liking it, especially since she is that new generation that Lucasfilm and Disney are trying to get into Star Wars. They don't care about me. Okay, well, they do care about me. They want to make me happy, but they want to get that next generation. I was talking about this, I think it was a couple months ago on an episode or whatever. And if Star Wars wants to stay alive, they can't just appease the older fans who grew up on the original trilogy or even the prequels, okay? They have to think about how to appease the next generation of kids growing up and how to get them hooked on Star Wars and make them feel as beloved as I did when I was a child. And this could be one of those puzzle pieces. That's what they want to do. And it looks like they're aiming younger. And I got to say, it's not for me, but I can't say I don't blame them for it. So I'm fine with Star Wars Resistance. I don't think I'm going to like it as much as I do the other shows, but I'm definitely going to sit down with my daughter, see what she thinks, see what I think, and at least give it a shot because, hey, guess what? It's Star Wars. And one of the cool things about it is they do have Poe Dameron coming back, Mr. Oscar Isaacs, voicing the character. They said that Gwendolyn Christie is going to voice Captain Phasma. I imagine they're going to get some other characters or actors that were in the new films to voice some of their characters that were in, the old one. I mean, hey, what I'd love to see would be bring back Admiral Akbar, okay? That was the tragedy for me in The Last Jedi was Admiral Akbar. Let's bring him back. This is set a couple years before The Force Awakens. Akbar's still around. Let's bring the good old Admiral Akbar back. That's what I want to see in this. Of course, you guys let me know what you think of the trailer. What do you think of the different animation style? I mean, we're so used to Clone Wars and Rebels. It's interesting to give it, that different animation style. Almost looks like the new Spider-Man movie that's coming out, Into the Spider-Verse, almost the same animation style as that. But nonetheless, guys, let me know what you think. And that is going to be it for today. Of course, I'll be back on Thursday with another show and a whole new set of stories. But important things, fire back on the Facebook group and this Dayspring Discussions Gmail account. Let me know what you think of the Iron Fist 2 trailer and Star Wars Resistance trailer. But most importantly, go into the Facebook group and answer the poll. Are you planning on watching Iron Fist Season 2 based off not only Iron Fist Season 1, but also the Netflix shows, how they've been lately, and if you still have faith in Marvel Netflix, guys? That's it. I'm out of here, guys. Until next time, may the Force be with us all.